Hmm. Hey, what's up, Asana? How you doing? Hey, Asana. No, I'm live. I'm live. I think I should take out my Invisalign. I think I should take out my Invisalign because it's kind of lispy. I'm a bit lispy. A bit I make that sound a lot. So I think at least the top tray I should take out. I should take out. What's that song that's playing? That's a soundtrack of Void Stranger. Yeah, I'm definitely taking this Invisalign out. I am definitely taking this out. Ah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? So now I can talk without lisping. What a great improvement that is. Unfortunately, I have to keep a short stream just so I don't fuck up my teeth alignments by having my Invisalign out for too long. AW sneaks in video game OSTs to his audience. It's great. Yeah, absolutely. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, not play music that I like? That's pretty cucked. My Discord link isn't working. Is that so? Is that so? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Is the Discord link not working? No? Yeah, it does work. You click on the link, it takes you to AW's pirate ship. It is working. It is working. Um, why is there a tea bag hanging from the fan? That is a good question. That is a question that I will direct to the Airbnb owner. I don't know. It says the link is expired or invalid. It worked for me. It worked for me. Am I in London? No, I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. I am a Bangkok enjoyer. Yeah. Um. So I guess like I want to do a bit of housekeeping before I get on with rating the redditors. I want to do a bit of housekeeping and respond to FaceIQ. Bangkok. Yes, yes. Can a 4 turn into a 9 with enough surgery? Maybe, maybe, but probably not. Probably not. Actually, I'm gonna make a video about if any man can become a Chad, and I think there's different difficulties that you have to overcome to become a Chad, and they vary in difficulty in solving. Like if you have like a problem with your eye area, that's one of the easier things to fix. Same with your nose. Like if your nose is making you a sub 5, very easy to fix with modern rhinoplasty. Um, and there's like different like problems to have, and I would say one of the harder problems to have is if you have a subpar jaw, because that requires that's when Looksmaxxing really gets paid to win. That's when you need to like fork out tens of thousands of dollars for Bimax, Trimax, genioplasty, and orthodontic work, which is on the cheaper end of that band. But the idea is that there's different costs to solving different problems that prevent you from being a Chad. I would say the most cost prohibitive and most like just most inconvenient problem to have, I think, is just being short, because unlike with just fixing like a bad nose area or eye area, which is like a few K, limb lengthening surgery is like 100K plus, right? And incredibly risky, incredibly painful, and just a terrible experience to go through. So I would say depending on what problem you have, and the easiest, like I guess easiest and like the cost that it incurs to you, the easiest problem to have is just being fat, just being high body fat. That's the thing that can actually be solved without really spending a penny, right? But there's different problems to have that bar you from being a Chad, and they all have different costs and how much it costs to fix. They all have different costs. Short guys can get women if they are 6 out of 10 facially. Yeah, but there's it's like a it's like an exponential curve downwards. The farther you are from the average height, if that makes any sense. Like a 5'5" man has a whole different experience from a 5'8" man, right? It's a different game. It's a different game he's playing. Is there a hard max for a race? uh, Most can't reach Chad level simply due to facial harmony. If you're clever, you can get closer to a harmonious face. Like as my palate is getting expanded, my mouth is getting wider, and it'll be like more aligned with the size of my nose, because right now my mouth is slightly too small for my nose width, and yeah, widening my palate can make my face more harmonious. So if you know what you're doing, you can get closer to facial harmony. I think a big mistake that people make in hard maxing is treating each like part of the face as if it's in like isolation. It's not in isolation. Everything is like interconnected with each other, right? And that's why, you know, just like normies that just have no business really, deciding any surgery to get on their face end up looking so bad. There's a lot to consider. Um, you do know that maxillary widening also widens the nose a bit. Well, it's not necessarily my maxilla that's getting widened. It's the dental arch. It's the dental arch. When can you get a physique reveal? I mean, I showed myself without my top when I was chubbier. All right, so we got some viewers on. That's good. That's good. So let's. I want to respond to FaceIQ because yeah, he reacted to one of my vids on stream and you know had some disagreements with my content. So I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's kind of interesting content. Okay. So this is a bit of a fucking mess. This is FaceIQ reacting to my video and I'm reacting to this, okay? Like that's pretty fucking confusing, but it is what it is.
Okay. I'm gonna look at I appreciate all the donations, by the way. I'm gonna take a look at this video real quick.
Are you scared of aging? Are you scared of twink death or whatever is coming your way? Well, I got some good news for you. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some things you can do to age gracefully and look like you're in your 20s when you get to 30 plus. You know, I myself, you know, I'm actually going to be 32 pretty fucking soon. I have like done this with AI where like I put my pictures in and sometimes it thinks I'm a teenager. Holy content. Exactly.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's not like really a good thing. That can be for other reasons. You could just have like feminine bone structure, and not saying he does, but like AI could assume you're young for other reasons besides that you aged well.
Makes my age to be feminine bone structure. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. I'm just kidding. He didn't say I had feminine bone structure. Or a guy in his early 20s. So I think like, you know, that should give me a little bit of authority in this topic. Rather than having some teenager talk to you about how to get good skin, how about a guy that has actually resisted and fought against entropy and doesn't look like a, you know, a ghoul when he's 30 plus. Like I think that's the guy you want to hear from, right? Number one on my list is be sunphobic. There's so many people in like the health and wellness space that just have like this ridiculous emotional thinking where they just have a bunch of feelings. Ooh, it feels nice to be in the sun. Ooh, the tan. Ooh, the tan. Ooh, the sun. Vomit.
Yeah. So the reason the sun feels nice is because you're synthesizing vitamin D. You're producing nitric oxide. You're boosting your hormones indirectly. That's why the sun feels good. And what's interesting.
Yeah, but is that worth the trade-off of fucking up your skin? Is that worth the trade-off of UV damage? Okay, yeah, you get some vitamin D from the sun. That's all well and good. But I'm saying, like, let's do a bit of cost-benefit analysis here. I agree. There are some benefits to, you know, getting, you know, sun exposure. But I'm saying that, like, the problems that come with UV damage is so much that you really got to limit the amounts that you get. And I don't think just getting some vitamin D is worth that trade-off in a lot of cases.
Is he looks quite pale. The sun having a tan is rated as more attractive every time. Let's rewatch that. Also, Paul Saladino isn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll even concede that he's right on this. I would say more so, especially in like Western countries like Europe and USA, a white guy with a tan is actually probably preferable for like mass appeal, sexual market value. Like I'll even concede that. But the missing piece of context is that because I live in Asia, that's, you know, the vampire phenotype is actually, you know, it's a pretty strong phenotype, and maybe that's just not something that is obvious to someone that's living in the West. But yes, having pale skin in a country like this is a pretty good niche to have, at least in my case.
Who we want to be referencing.
In like the health and wellness space, but just have like this ridiculous emotional thinking where they just have a bunch of feelings. Ooh.
It's not really feelings though. The sun sets your circadian rhythm. It affects your nitric oxide, produces vitamin D. The sun has like 5 benefits. One thing about the sun he probably doesn't know. The sun is responsible for affecting the enzymes that are responsible for fat oxidation, which means that if you get sun, you will burn fat more efficiently. The sun also detoxes something called deuterium. There's around 5 reasons why the sun is great. It makes your skin more attractive by tanning. Red light, by the way, in the sun upregulates collagen synthesis.
Okay, we can let's pause that for a second. There's been so many studies and like so many examples of people that have had one part of their body shown in the sun and the other not, and like there's like a very clear difference over many years that the part that was in the sun just looks frankly worse. Like you would never say, oh, the part of your body that was in the sun looks like there's more collagen on it. Like not more collagen on it, but okay, here's what I'm talking about. So this is a woman that put sunscreen on her face but not her neck. Gee, look at that. Look at that difference. That neck looks 20 years older. 20, even more than that. Like I would say like 25 years older. And the difference here is that this was not, there was no, sunscreen applied to the neck compared to the face, which looks much, much younger. I mean, would you look at that? Like, does it look like the neck has more collagen? And, that's just one picture. Here are identical twins, and one wore sunscreen, the other didn't. You can see the one that didn't wear sunscreen. Like, does this person look like they have more collagen than the person on the left? I mean, you can have theories. Like, I've got my theories about like what looks good, what's going to make someone age better or not. But surely you can use your eyes. Like your eyes don't lie. Like I can lie, FaceIQ can lie, but your eyes don't lie. There's so much evidence that limiting the amount of sun exposure on your skin makes you age better. And that's not a theory. That's just like what you can see, right?
Nitric oxide, deuterium, collagen synthesis, vitamin D, higher testosterone. There's like so many reasons why the sun is good. You don't want to have too much, but of being completely sunphobic is really not good advice.
Ooh, it feels nice to be in the sun. Ooh, the tan. Ooh.
But anyone who's smart isn't using those as the reasons. They're using the reasons I just gave you.
Ooh, the tan. Ooh, the sun. Vomit. Okay, let's even like accept those the reasons he listed that getting sun exposure is good. Let's like for the sake of argument, let's accept that is the case. Is it worth the trade-off though? Does the benefits outweigh the cost of UV damage? I don't think it does. Even accepting that FaceIQ is telling the truth here. It's out massive amounts of UV rays. It just, what the sun is? It's a giant thermonuclear explosion. It's like the equivalent of millions of nukes being detonated every fucking second, constantly, right, in the sky. You got to be wary.
Correct.
Of this. Like you got to give your FaceIQ is kind of an idiot. He is obsessed with mechanistic arguments and ignores pure empirical data. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say he's an idiot. I would say he actually makes some pretty damn good content. His facial analysis is very good, and he's got a good idea, has good ideas with surgery. This is just like one part of his content that I'm just kind of like scratching my head at. Like this appeal to nature stuff is just very, it's just a bit out of place in my opinion. Yourself a bit of protection from this. Limit the amount of exposure you have to the sun, and if you do go out in the
Yeah, get what you're adapted to. No one's saying get 8 hours a day, but the point is if you're not burning and you're safely tanning, it's literally making you more attractive, which that alone is indicating that it's good for you. That alone.
sun, make sure to wear SPF. If you're not burning, then it's good for you. I'm inclined to say that's probably not true. Because what you detect as burning, that you can damage your skin without even like fucking realizing it in the moment, right? Like by the time you feel your skin burning, like it's already a bit too late for skin damage. But surely there's a point before that, before you start feeling your skin burn, that it's actually doing a bit of damage. make sure to wear like SPF 50. You know, like you can get radiation poisoning and feel fine in the moment, but then after, then you get fucked up, right? Like if you
Most sunscreens are just full of endocrine disruptors, heavy metals. Your skin is very absorbent. I wouldn't do that, but
or like white SPF 50. Oh, he's saying sunscreen is bad.
the point is, if you're not burning and you're safely tanning, it's literally making you more attractive, which that alone is indicating that it's good for you. That alone.
Did he say sunscreen? Make sure to wear SPF. Make sure to wear like SPF 50. Like if you
Most sunscreens are just full of endocrine disruptors, heavy metals. Your skin is very absorbent. I wouldn't.
Endocrine disrupt. Oh man. I bet this woman on the left is glad she didn't get any endocrine disruptors. I bet she's glad. Oh, thank God. You know, the person on the right, this is the smart one for not wearing sunscreen.
Do that, but
or like white SPF 50 is a fucking must.
The reason the sun seems to age you is because of everyone's shit diet full of polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are oxidizing.
So let me get this straight. The only reason people get fucked up from the sun is what? Because they're not eating a meat-based diet, a carnivore diet or a raw food diet, whatever his his thing is. Like, is that seriously the claim? Like, so what? If you eat raw meat, you suddenly your skin becomes immune to UV damage. That's a big claim. That's a hell of a claim.
Getting stored in your skin. Let's see if there's anything in chat about this video. Like, if you think someone who's been eating McDonald's for 10 years versus someone who's been eating 10 meat and lots of raw meat and lots of raw butter for 10 years, if you think the sun will affect those people equivalently, then it's your funeral. It's your funeral. That's all.
Okay, so he's not saying that if you just eat like raw food, then you become immune to UV damage. But I'll even grant him this. Like, I would guess, yeah, if you do become healthier, if you do become like just generally healthier, I would imagine your skin would withstand UV damage better than someone that is in poor health. That makes sense. Like, I get the logic. I get the logic with that. Like, you know, if you're generally healthier, that means that your organs, you know, are more robust. They have, like, you just have better constitution. And your skin being an organ as well, you know, it makes sense that is going to, you know, withstand UV damage better than someone in poor health. Like, I get that. I just think, like, we're not respecting the sun here. Like, the sun is an absolute mogger. It mogs all of us. Like, I don't care how healthy you are. Like, you know, if you go in the sun for, you know, regularly, frequently, without using sunscreen, you're going to get mogged. You're going to get mogged by the sun. Your skin is going to get damaged.
All I have to say. He looks pale. It just doesn't look good to me. I am tan. It's just my lighting in my room makes me look more pale. I'm actually, like, people even in real life comment on how tan I am. I am actually.
I mean, I don't know. Like, so he doesn't like, you know, pale skin. Well, that's kind of how my skin is naturally.
Actually tan.
It is a must. And even if you're black, you know, I've seen that, like, someone that is, like, sub-Saharan is, like, they have, like, naturally SPF 15 skin. That's pretty good. But it's not going to make you immune to UV damage. Like, your skin's still going to get fucked up. There's been, like, loads of, like, individual cases where people...
On the basis of what? And what people?
What do you mean on the basis of what? Radiation from the sun. You know, millions of nukes being detonated every fucking second. That's kind of vomiting out a lot of radiation. You got to give that a bit of respect, no? For whatever science, you know... empirical evidence, like, just, you know, using your own eyes. Like, I mean, how much evidence do you need? reason, only being exposed to sunshine on one part of their body, like a truck driver. It was a famous case where he had like,
Oh my god, no, 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 no. Let's see if he gets this wrong. Oh, this might be a huge slip.
for whatever reason, only being exposed to sunshine on one
We'll
part
see.
of their body, like a truck driver. It was a famous case where he had like one side of his face get hit by the sun because his window was open and the other didn't.
False. Yeah, he got it wrong. Nope, his window was closed.
Oh, you got me. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. The window wasn't open. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Have a window and it's like one side of his face looks like.
Nope, his window was closed and window.
So if his window was open, you don't think his that side of his face would also get the skin damaged, like in that picture.
Windows filter the spectrum of light. A lot of windows will filter out the red light but let the blue light come in, and blue light in isolation is extremely photoaging. He got this wrong.
Okay, I mean that. Yeah, sure. Looks like literally like 20 years older.
Yes, it looks 20 years older. Was this okay? Let's break this down. So he was getting sunlight through a window, so that can, depending on the window, that can filter out red light and let the blue light through, which is super aging. Okay, that's one thing. Secondly, was this guy on a proper diet, or did he have polyunsaturated
Oh man.
fatty acids in his skin, which oxidize easily from the sun? That's the second question. And third, was he getting the proper amount of sun for his ethnicity, or was he getting too much?
Okay, so the window being open, filtering in like red light. Okay, that's a bit of a, I don't want to get lost on the weeds on that. There's loads of other examples of people that have seen noticeable decline in parts of their face that have been hit by the sun. And I guess so we're going on to step 2, yeah. Oh, they're not eating the proper diet, right? So let me get this straight. If this guy did have his window open, he would still say, okay, well, he's not eating a raw meat diet. That's why this side of his face got, fucked up by the sun. Let's say he did. Let's say he was let's say he was on the carnivore diet. You know what he's gonna say then? He's gonna say, "Oh yeah, but it wasn't raw meat. It wasn't raw meat." And and let's say he did eat raw meat. You know what he's gonna say then? He's gonna say the quality of meat wasn't good enough. So the goalpost is always gonna get moved, right? And this is not what a rational person does. Like this is not someone with an open mind just looking at what's happening in reality here, right? It's always like one thing. It's like, oh yeah, they didn't eat the right diet. Oh, they had like fluoride in the water. It's like they'll always like shift the goalposts. Like people that like the appeal to nature stuff, they'll always shift the goalposts whenever like someone gets fucked up by the sun. That's always the case. FaceIQ is a GOATUS follower, the same guy who doesn't believe in DNA. These guys just try to moralize looks and height, aka they earned it with their diet. Yes, that is a common flaw that people have. They like the idea that, oh, if you just if you just eat a pure diet and you go back to nature, then it's this panacea for all these problems. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. It's just not. And here's the thing, right? If you have a theory, I'm cool with you having theories about raw meat or whatever, right? Like that's fine. I've got theories about Looksmaxxing too, right? But the thing is, every theory, every idea that you have, at least has to have a failure point. Because if you don't have a failure point, then you're no longer in the realm of rationality. You're not. You're not. At a certain point, you got to see enough evidence to where you just concede, okay, yeah, maybe the sun is a net negative for most people. Because let's say okay, I don't even think this is true, but let's say that if you eat like this raw meat diet or whatever he's prescribing, let's say someone is doing that, that's like 0.001% of the world's population. So for 99.999% of people on the planet, the sun is gonna fuck up their skin. So we may as well just say limit your sun exposure, because that's going to make you age gracefully. Because that's true for 99.999% of people. And this is even assuming that like raw meat just makes you like, functionally immune to UV damage. And I don't even agree with that. But even if I accept FaceIQ's idea here, this only applies to like a tiny minority of people that eat exactly like FaceIQ. So why are we telling people, not to wear sunscreen, not to to get a lot of like sun exposure? It's just so obviously going to make them age worse.
3 things right there. Think about it.
On the other side, and it's that kind of like proves the fucking point. There's a lot of
Well, no, not at all. It proves that getting sunlight through a window is damaging, and it's damaging if you have polyunsaturated fatty acids in your skin, which he very likely did. So false.
cope about this for some reason, where people think, again, we don't need to get lost in the weeds with the that truck driver having his window open or not. Like, who cares? Some days he may have had it open, some days closed. It doesn't matter. Forget that. There's loads of other examples of people getting damaged skin, and think like if they eat some specific diet, then they're just immune and they're above putting SB.
We have the biochemical evidence of how cholesterol, vitamin D, etc., saturated fat itself affects your skin, and how polyunsaturated fatty acids oxidize in the skin. We understand this. You should know this. Come on.
On their skin. Like, usually this will be like guys that are like, can I not just like use my eyes? Can I not just like see how things play out in reality?
This guy did roids. This guy's a complete joke. Yeah, dude, come on.
So Liver King, he doesn't like me using Liver King as an example because he used roids. Okay, again, sure, but he did use. I mean, I don't know if. Again, it's hard to tell what is real and what's fake with the Liver King. I don't know. Let's just say he ate more raw meat than the average guy. I think that's a fair assumption to make. It doesn't look like his skin fared any better than the average person. And let's say roids is a counterbalance to that. Shouldn't it like neutralize? Why does he look like he's aged worse than the average person?
Come on, bro. I'm a fan of this guy. Come on. I'm a fan of aesthetics waiting. Come on, bro. Yeah, this guy did.
And to be fair, I'm a fan of FaceIQ too. I actually like his content. It's just this appeal to nature fallacy stuff that I think is missing the mark.
Did roids. This guy's a fucking joke.
Like the Liver King, and like, do you really want to have skin like?
Oh my god! Come on. This is the worst. This is a bad video. The window won't make sun damage worse. False. Many tinted windows only filter out red light, which actually stimulates collagen synthesis. They let in blue light, which is extremely photoaging. False. Wow. He's using Liver King as an example, really? Come on, bro.
Well, can you like show an example of like some raw meat eater or whatever? I don't even know what he's like. Again, I don't really know the term carnivore diet. Like whatever he thinks a good diet is. Like, who's an example that I can look at that gets a lot of sun exposure and eats as he would prescribe, but looks noticeably younger? Can I just see one example? Because all the examples that I've seen with my eyes are guys like the Liver King, Paul Saladino, and at best they look like their skin looks about average, compared to the the general population.
This guy's a blatant
If there were like loads of like raw food guys that like aged like Trando Tan, I mean, okay, maybe I'll reconsider. Maybe you guys are onto something, but like I haven't like. What example should I look at?
fucking clown.
King, probably fucking not. Or these will be guys that are like literally like teenagers or guys in their early 20s telling you how to get like good skin. In fact, you just need to eat a special diet and you don't have to.
FaceIQ is that's fair enough. I'm only 20. The difference is like you can be 20 and still under.
Is this actually FaceIQ in the chat? If it is, you're welcome to come on Discord and we can hash it out. What's up, Face? I can join the call. Okay, excellent. Okay, this stream's getting interesting. All right, good, good. Let's get him in. So can you go into my Discord? I've got a Discord link below, and you can join that, and we can get in a vid call. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna go piss real quick. Actually, oh, he's in the lounge. Okay, hold on. All right. Oh, Frost. Okay, yeah. Let me make a private room, just so we don't get invaded. Private channel. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Oh, yo. I was wait. Can you drag me back to that guy for one moment,
Back to what
if
guy?
you don't mind? The guy I was talking to in lounge, just for 1 second.
Uh,
Yeah, just I'll be.
the fuck? When are you rating? I don't know. This stream's going in a crazy direction. I was not anticipating a impromptu call with FaceIQ from prison. Frank, am I planning to get more surgeries? I am planning to. Let's see if. Why did Face ask me to go into? Why did Face ask me to have him chat with Bob? Anyway, I think it's like. I just think it's kind of interesting how there's all these theories that people have with diet and getting in the sun, and it all sounds good. It all sounds good, but like, how it plays out in practice, it's just people looking like a ghoul if they get into the sun too much. You know, and that's like how it goes in the majority of cases. What's going on? Oh shit. Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? What's
How's
the
it
word?
going? How's it going? It's interesting to finally chat with you.
Yeah, man. We're in we're in a neighboring sphere. We should have chatted a long time ago, but what's up?
The funny thing is, on your videos, I often get recommended videos from your content So you indirectly help my channel out a lot.
When I reacted to you, probably also did a little something,
Yeah.
but good.
I
Good,
think
good,
it's
good.
because like the facial aesthetic space in YouTube is such a tiny niche that
Mm,
it's like our videos get like shown to like new people all the fucking time. So it's like
mm-hmm.
if either of us grow, we kind of grow the other side, and the same applies to other content creators like Clavicular and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wait, I'm gonna start my stream up actually. Why not, right?
Yeah, fuck
Um,
it, let's do
so
it.
yeah,
And do you want to go on
let's
a
do it,
cam
bro.
just to make it interesting content?
Um, my cam is like being used in OBS, so it's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't. I don't think I can do both. We could just like pull up each other's streams. I know it's a bit delayed. Um,
That's
I
the
don't
most
know.
ghetto setup of all time.
I know, I know. It's fine. It'll be okay, I think. So yeah, do you want to like kind of start off a topic, I suppose?
Yeah, uh so if you look at like many pieces of evidence, like there's loads of the theories are that if you get UV exposure on your skin that it's going to damage it over time. And like that's the
Mm,
theory, but also in practice you can see people that have had what parts of their body exposed to, you know, to the sun, and it just looks like they've aged dramatically on that part
mm,
of their body that has been exposed to the sun. And you can, sunscreen dramatically decreases the amounts that it damages the skin, but also just not getting that sun exposure full stop is also pretty good at preventing it. So again, like it seems like in your content you like really over index on the importance of diet, that it just kind of like neutralizes the problems that come with UV damage.
yeah, I mean, the main thing is not even like necessarily if you eat my specific diet, it's more so that you do not consume lots of linoleic acid in the diet is the main concern I have. Does that make sense?
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so we're monogastric animals, so any fatty acid we eat is going straight to our skin. And it seems that double bonded fatty acids like linoleic acid, which is in seed oils and olive oil, it oxidizes very easily, which is essentially going to cause the damage from the sun. When these acids are integrated with your skin, they're going to increase the damage of the sun by such a large variable, it is incomprehensible, truly. And every single human on Earth, as the half-life of these oils is around 4 years, their skin is full of these oils. Yeah, that would be my
So
main issue there.
so you said seed oils. So like you think that is kind of just adding fuel to the fire when it comes to UV damage. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, in a lot of modern disease, they're quite pro-inflammatory. Uh, they're they're a really really big issue. Yeah, for sure.
So
I would
like
say that's
so
a huge issue.
yeah, so like but do you not recognize that even if someone does eat like raw meat or whatever, if they get sun exposure without sunscreen, that it's going to damage their skin, maybe even to like a lesser extent, but it still will damage their skin to some degree.
I think in excess for sure. Like I think there's an ancestral amount of sun that we're adapted to getting.
Mm.
But I think when you're like whenever you see redness or burn, I think that's a really bad sign that you certainly
Yeah.
underwent aging.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but does it not say something to you when every study confirms that having a natural tan is seen as more attractive, and we know of all the benefits of the sun. I could name you 10 biochemical proofs of how good the sun is, and every animal is adapted to getting some amount of sun. When you say chronically avoid all sun, how could that be a good lifestyle choice at all
Well,
whatsoever?
so another thing is that we're talking about tan skin being rated more attractive. I don't know if
Yeah.
you watched the earlier part of my stream, but I do think that's true in the West. Like I do think most white guys
Mm.
would do better if they had more tan skin, if they're dating in like Europe or America or whatever. At least in my case, like I'm just speaking, as one person here, but because I live in Asia, there's actually a pretty good niche premium that comes with pale skin. So I think, in
Mm.
my sense, it kind of makes sense why I wouldn't want to tan too much.
You're referring to, I'm not gonna lie, I think you're conflating like ethnicity with tan, I think. That's what's happening there, I would say.
No, I'm just talking about
Like,
SMV here.
yeah, but I think you're conflating. Okay, so would you be more preferred if I think you would be less preferred if you were less JBW, right? But I think you'd be more preferred if you were tanner. Does that make sense? And I
Even
think the
even
evidence would
to
suggest
even
that.
to the girls in Asia, you think?
Yeah, for sure. If you like, do you think some like tan white dude with blue eyes is like worse than a pale white dude? Like pale,
I wouldn't say
it's
worse.
also a, well, you had just said it would be worse,
I would no. I'm saying that
correct?
if you're in Asia, then there's like a premium that comes with pale skin that isn't really culturally applicable in the West. I think like pale
Perhaps.
skin and tan skin, like gold, that kind of nice golden medium. I think they both mog. It's just a different, it's a different look.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like we could theorize about, you know, we could theorize about what would be rated as more attractive and, this or that. I think the main thing is, I suppose, well, okay, how about this? Let's start here. What would your assertion be? What should someone's relationship to the sun be? Like daily exposure, and where should they be exposed, if at all?
I think like for sure you should just put on an SPF whenever you go outside. I think it's just a no-brainer. Like there's
Oh,
just
okay.
copious amounts of evidence that people that don't wear SPF and get a sun exposure just look, it just ages their skin way more than if they don't.
So, so which population and like what literature would you have for that? Like, is this just a feeling or is there like some sort of science?
Science, dude.
Yeah.
UV rays do damage the skin. That is like mainstream science.
Right. Have you like are you running with hearing that narrative, or have you looked into that yourself and like you understand that biochemistry? Or
Do
you're
I
just
need
kind
to?
of like,
Do I
I
need?
guess
Can I just not care about the biochemistry? Can I not care?
you could, it would just then be this it would have your take would have the equivalent validity as a random homeless guy yelling out random things though.
I
It
don't
wouldn't
need.
like
No,
you
no,
have to have,
no. I
you
don't
know?
need to. I don't need to know the biochemical process for UV damage. I don't need to know that. I can use my eyes. I can look at people that have worn sunscreen on one part of their body, and it looks like they're like 20 years younger on that part of their body.
And right, you could have observed anecdotes, correct? But then an equivalent example is that would kind of be like me saying, let's say I had an N=1 for my diet. I say, I just feel better with alcohol in the diet. I just feel better. You know what I mean? Like you
It's
can
not.
have
It's not
feelings.
feeling. It's observational reality. We can see people that don't wear sunscreen on like on their neck, and their neck is like this wrinkly prune, and then their face that did get
Right.
updated with sunscreen
So
looks
so
20
again,
years younger.
we we
It's not.
would we would then only be able to make an assertion. Let's say I were to concede, like let's say that's true, then you could only draw that assertion to those living the Western lifestyle. Would you agree with that?
What do you mean living the Western lifestyle? Like, I mean, this would
So
apply to.
having lots of linoleic acid stored in their skin, for example, an easily oxidized oil making up their skin. Would you then agree with that, and you couldn't extrapolate that to someone who has never eaten a seed oil? Or would you try to extrapolate that to everyone?
I don't think that has much bearing on the amount of skin damage you receive. I don't think that
So you think
determines anything.
having skin made of a double bonded fat versus not a double bonded fat has no bearing in terms of the oxidative damage from the sun?
I
You
don't
think that's
know.
no
I
bearing?
don't know what that means. Like that doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, then that would be see why you might like need a further understanding to have a strong assertion then, no? So
Do,
this linoleic acid, these omega sixes, since we're monogastric animals, we store all the fatty acids in our tissues, just like a pig or a chicken. And these acids easily oxidize, which causes reactive oxygen species. This causes oxidation of our tissues. So it's extremely important if you, and especially things like saturated fat and K2 and vitamin D are extremely protective against the sun. Even being grounded, getting antioxidants is protective against the sun. So your health and lifestyle completely affects how the sun's going to affect you.
okay.
You would just like, do you think someone just eating McDonald's versus eating like a proper diet is going to react the same way to the sun?
So I will concede that if someone is generally healthier, I would guess that they would fare better against UV damage than someone that is in poor health because the skin is an organ and like other
Okay.
organs, it's like a, a barometer for your general health, right? So I will concede that. I just don't know if that's going to make going to make the difference here.
So you don't know, so it could.
I mean,
So if you don't know, why would you have made assertions that it wouldn't? In the fact, because I believe in the video I reacted to, you said something along the lines of, your carnivore diet won't save you. The natural people, they don't know what they're saying. So it kind of seemed that you were implying like the sun is an issue for everyone.
why would why would eating raw meat basically cancel out UV damage? Like, why would that happen?
So the saturated, it's not the protein of raw meat. That would be pretty irrelevant. I mean, it would perhaps slightly help. I wouldn't make the assertion. And of course, you can never make any assertion on outcomes in humans as we have no human science, as we do not experiment on humans. However, I could make an educated inference based on what we know that specifically vitamin D in the diet, vitamin K2, and saturated fat itself as a nutrient is extremely nourishing for the skin. And it seems in RCTs that it helps protect against this UV damage. Like it's not even comparable when your tissues are made up of saturated fat versus linoleic acid. They're not going to oxidize, 1/10 of the amount as if you're a high seed oil consumer. And this is why there are a lot of, and again, this is not causal evidence, there's a lot of anecdotes of people when they switch to a proper diet, they just stop burning out in the sun when they go over years without the seed oils in the diet. There's a lot of case studies of this, including myself. I used to burn so easily, right? And this is not causal proof. It's just something to think about if you're open-minded, I would say.
Okay, so again, like you can have that theory. I'm just saying that it's a safer bet just to limit the amount of UV rays that get exposed to you. That's the safer bet. Like there's just overwhelming evidence that
So
you've
then
got
by
to
that
just
logic,
avoid that,
it's
right?
also it would also be safer than you'd say to avoid red meat in the diet as well, because there's associations in the Western population that it's bad. Or would you say we
I
should
don't
probably
know.
think about the meta?
I don't really study up on diets. It's not something that
Mm,
I have strong opinions about either way.
I see. Okay, fair enough. So you don't really have like an assertion on what people should eat?
No, in fact, I purposefully don't talk about diet in my videos just because it's just an arena that
Mm.
I just don't really want to get into.
That's fair enough. No, I think like there's too many people that have assertions on things like where they don't know what they're talking about. Which is why like I would never make an assertion on what cycle of roid someone should take,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I have no clue.
Your
That's
arch
not my
nemesis
field.
clavicular with Nova.
Yeah, no, I would refer if someone wants to do roids, go join his school. Absolutely. Um, I mean, then again, that guy said eat the slop they feed you, and that's where I draw the line with him. But Uh, I think that's I think that's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I think what you're, we can just have more of like less of a debate and more of a conversation. I think it seems you haven't particularly looked into this field and you've kind of heard, okay, sun is bad. I see X happen, therefore avoid sun. But I mean, if you're avoiding sun, that's just going to be very detrimental to your health eventually. Would you agree or disagree with that? And do you care about that? I
Well,
guess.
I would concede that there are like benefits that you probably even know more about the upsides to sun exposure than me, but like just the basic stuff like vitamin D, right? I
Yes.
accept that, right? I just
Yeah.
think like if we're just weighing these things up, I think if you look at just how brutalized people's skin gets from sun exposure, but I don't think it's worth the trade-off. I think maybe you can
Mm.
risk being a bit vitamin D
The trade-off would be a
deficient.
cause and effect inference. A trade-off would imply that something will happen if you do X, which we couldn't report on. Because again, that's just assuming that there's a causation. And if you were to think that, you would again be basing this off people who drink, smoke, and eat seed oils,
Hmm.
right? So their bodies, how they're interacting with the sun, is completely different than how someone in optimal health would react to the sun, right? And again, if you're not getting sun, we need the sun to detox something called deuterium. And this is going to really, really add up in the long run. You need the sun or extreme cold to detox this. Again, your mitochondria rely on the sun. I mean, I could give you 10 things that are very important about the sun. So I just think it's a bit callous to look at unhealthy people and then say, let's avoid it altogether. What do you think of that?
What callous as in like I'm not getting to like the root of the issue, which is their poor health. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's sort of like we could make the intervention of removing the sun in unhealthy people and maybe they would age better, but wouldn't it make more sense to then at the bare minimum remove an industrial oil from the diet, which is then we know the biochemical pathways in which this is going to cause far worse aging. I mean, that would make more sense to me. Yeah, it's kind of like a band-aid solution. Like, okay, you have an unhealthy human, now let's just rub sunscreen on their face with more parabens and endocrine disruptors, etc.
I mean, looking at some of these pictures, so like I even like watched on a stream. There was these identical twins, and one wore sunscreen, the other didn't.
Yes.
I mean, whatever like the theorized downsides of sunscreen you have, I think I think get far outweighed
Yeah.
by UV damage. So I mean, to me,
So
like I
again,
just
what were
think the
those twins
trade-off
eating, right? Like, what
makes
could that
sense
report
for
on?
sunscreen.
So that could report on what happened to those people who were eating those things, right? You couldn't extrapolate that to someone who was living a complete different. There's unlimited confounding variables, right? So, I mean, what is that? That doesn't prove anything. There's
Okay,
also,
but
it's funny.
so how many
There's actually
people eat exactly
hmm.
how you would prescribe? Like what, 0.001% of the world's population?
Well, we don't have to. You don't see that the difference makers isn't like whether your meat's raw, particularly. That will affect your aging, but not from the skin. What's going to affect the skin aging is how much saturated fat you're eating, how much seed oils you're eating, and how long seed oils have been out of the diet in terms of a dietary perspective. And I'd say there's probably around 100,000 people eating that way I think the carnivore community has like probably 1 million people, I would say.
Yeah, but the point is, it's a very small percentage of Earth's population. So, I think like my
Yes.
advice of limiting sun exposure applies to even if we're accepting that like if we eat the carnivore diet, then you're practically immune to sun damage, which I don't agree with. But let's I'll just accept that for now.
Mm,
Even even accepting what you're saying is just completely valid, it doesn't
yes.
apply to 99.99% of people. So like, my advice to avoid sun, even in your like own worldview, it is pretty beneficial to them.
Okay. So why would you then prescribe? I feel like if I were you, I would consider the idea that hey, perhaps you should wear sunscreen for now, but ideally you should probably make the composition of your skin less prone to oxidation. That would probably be wise. That's food for thought. Actually, also sugar has a few pathways in which it's going to make you age a lot worse, especially be more sensitive to the sun. Just chronic systemic inflammation. Like we have these UV rays just hitting these people who are just fucking sick, and smoking and drinking and seed oil skin and chronic systemic inflammation. It's not really surprising to me at all that this is super aging people. So then then with the truck driver example, he had a closed window, and tinted windows can filter out red light often. He was probably getting more sun than he should have for his ethnicity, and then of course his diet was likely shit, right? So there's no, it's not really surprising. It's not really an argument against the sun. It's more an argument against uh, what the people's lifestyles who are then placed in that environment, right?
Okay, okay. See, I kind of feel like this is just like there's no failure point here, right? Because like, let's say if that truck driver ate mostly a meat diet, then you'd say, oh well, it's not raw meat. And then
No, I
if he
wouldn't.
did eat raw meat,
No,
you'd
if he
say, oh, it's not good quality enough. Like, where's the
no,
failure
no,
point here? You
false.
know?
The failure point here is no seed oils and high saturated fats. That would, and then I'd be satisfied. Done.
So if
And that would
someone,
only be one confounding variable as well, because we still have the closed window. And how many hours of sun was he getting per day, right?
so if someone was okay, didn't have seed oils, okay, so
Yes.
they are going to not get burned by the sun by what degree? Like, would they become like
So
20%
here's
better?
you would safely tan and not actually experience the burn, because most people, by the way, they burn in like 10 to 15 minutes in the sun. It's actually dangerous for most people to be in the
Uh,
sun. I agree with that. Currently, it is. However, I would say it makes it, from the anecdotes, people like Dr. Anthony Shafee who have had no seed oils in like 10 years, he's a white guy who can be in the sun for 6 hours and not burn a smidge. So it seems to be many, many, many times more resilient from the photo aging from the sun.
Dr. Anthony Shafee.
Dr. Anthony Shafee, yeah. So he's only eaten meat for around a decade.
Interesting. Dr. Anthony Shafee. Let me search him up. Um, I mean, so yeah,
I say
you
like he
think
gets a lot of sun too. I say he looks pretty good for like in his 40s, as an example.
yeah, but again, like we can kind of use that the other way around, right? Like, you know, I'm not a
Mm.
raw meat eater, and I would say I've got
The raw
better
part
skin
isn't important though,
collagen
as it's
for my
specified.
age. What?
Yeah, sure. The raw part isn't important for this topic though, right?
Okay,
Like
okay.
you don't, and even the protein portion of meat isn't important. You could eat raw butter and then you could eat lentils, and then not eat seed oils, and you'd have the same outcome in this. But yeah, anyway, I get you.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
So I mean, yeah, all we have is
is this the
anecdotes
guy?
because we don't have experiments on humans, and then we could actually establish causation.
Is this the guy on stream? Like, have I got the right guy? Because he
Oh,
doesn't look.
yeah, sorry, let me check
This
it
guy
out.
doesn't look like much of a skinmonger. I don't know if I got the right guy.
Let me see.
The gym.
No, that's not him.
Yeah, yeah. I thought so.
I'll type his name in chat.
Yeah, go on. Discord or YouTube?
Oh, I just put it in YouTube there.
Okay, okay. Let me see real quick.
Mm. I would check out his videos on YouTube.
Oh,
And
Chafee. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and do you believe in evolution, by the way?
Yes.
So, would you say, 4.5 million years of positive and negative selection pressures, given the persons in the environment of their ancestors, do you think they'd be then damaged? Like, you don't think we've adapted to handle a certain amount of sun? Like, clearly, black people have more melanin for a reason. They've adapted,
Yeah, it's like SPF
you know?
15 from what I've seen. Like their equivalent. Their
Right.
equivalent.
So, so
Is
they're adapted to that, right? So, do you think that our specific adaptation like led us astray? Oh, we're adapted to this amount of sun, but then it's harming us. It's like it kind of would make it would kind of be an insult to evolution and positive negative pressures over millions of years.
Um,
Same with
yeah,
like meat causing heart disease. It's like we've been eating that for around millions of years, provably, unequivocally, through isotope analysis. We know as fact. We've been eating 80% or more meat for millions of years. It's like, oh, but that causes disease suddenly, right? It's almost like so illogical. It's almost incomprehensible to argue that, I would say.
just because we're adapted doesn't mean we're perfectly adapted. Like the life
Mm.
expectancy of primal man was like 25. Like by the time you're
How would
30,
you
you're
know
like
that?
an old man. Huh?
How would you know that?
Oh, that's just
And
like
then is
what
that
I've heard.
counting infant mortality?
Yeah, I'd assume so.
And was that dying to disease or was that dying to other pressures? Like, a tiger eating
I don't
you
know.
or running out of food,
I
right?
don't
There's a
know.
lot of
But the
confounding
point is, the
variables.
the average person, didn't make it past 30 like that for a long period of time,
And
right? Well, it doesn't mean just because something's natural doesn't mean
you,
that
you
we're
would have
well
to show
adapted to
that
face
you
against
would
it.
have to show they were dying due to something due to the diet, though. That's all that would matter.
I'm making more of a general
Otherwise,
point. It's just like there's loads of things in nature that are obviously hazardous to humans. So just because
like
yeah, we're
plants,
not perfectly adapted to many things. The sun
right?
being one of them.
So, what would your assertion be for that? Because think about this, right? Look how fast black people adapted to having that melanin. That's showing that's over only tens of thousands of years. It's estimated, right? So, when you have a European man and he's this exact skin tone, it would be a different skin tone if it should have been. Does that make sense? Like,
No, I don't understand.
you don't think so? So, if we have people way darker than someone in Europe, right?
Uh huh.
That means there was a pressure to make them darker, but
Yeah.
not a pressure to make the European darker.
Yes.
Right. So, if the European needed to be darker, they would be darker because they're the proper skin tone for that amount of sun exposure. You don't agree with that?
I mean, I agree, but like the subtext of this is, primal man, had a better diet. What do you think? So, even like a European guy in the sun wouldn't get burned because he was eating like I don't know mammoth meat or something. Is that what you're getting at?
He would 100%, a natural human would 100% be more resilient to the sun. 100%. Yes. 100%. And there's too many mechanisms by which we can extrapolate that, like systemic inflammation, sugar content in the diet, no seed oils in the diet, high saturated animal fat, which is inherently anti-inflammatory, and the amount of collagen in the diet. It would just 100%. Yeah.
See, I
So
mean, okay, go
mhm.
on.
No, sorry, go on.
Yeah,
No,
I just
you got it.
think there's like I just I think we're really over indexing on diet here compared to other factors like
Mm.
mental stress and sleep.
Like for overall aging.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, sure. Yeah, that would be a different topic. I would agree. Like,
yeah.
there's so many other factors for overall aging. But like in terms of sun, I totally think what your skin is made of is definitely the most important thing. Because you have to realize these oils are integrated all over your tissues when you eat them, as we cannot ferment them like a cow. So you are quite literally, most humans are walking around, they are made of like these oils integrate into the cell membranes, right? So the collagen in your skin is literally integrated with seed oils, which are these time bombs that oxidize under very low temperatures. They're often pre-oxidized because we're eating fried food. So and these are everywhere in the modern diet. So it's humans are quite literally made up of different fatty acids than they would have been, but to their core. And I think that's something very important to consider when we see how this huge ball of heat is interacting with us.
See, again, like what you're saying sounds good. It makes sense. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, just like empirical reality. I'm
Mm.
just going back to like what I'm saying is just that like the sun for most people is
I'm sorry.
fucking hazardous to their collagen. It just like nukes their collagen, and I guess like I do think like diet is just really over indexed on, because like according to you, I don't eat a good diet by any means, and yet I
Mm,
constantly have people say that, oh, you look way younger for someone that's like, almost 32 now, and like I'm not,
right.
I don't have any
So
warnings.
you do wear sunscreen and avoid it, right? So you would have less sun damage than other people your age who would definitely be damaged by the sun, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for you, it would be a benefit if you do eat unnaturally. Of course, you'll see in your N equals one if you get a disease, that will be your choice. And I mean, some people don't care. That's all. That's a different topic. But yeah, in terms of aging, if you're gonna eat McDonald's, then yeah, you should totally, take the peptides, wear the sunscreen, avoid the sun. So yeah, I mean, I just think like the best recommendation will kind of be nuanced. It's like if you're actively harming your health, then yes, avoid the sun. If you're trying your best and avoiding these oils, wouldn't there be a little more nuance? But that's all I would be getting at.
Um. Yeah. Like, I eat McDonald's quite often, actually.
Mm. Do you not care? I mean, I'm not judging. Do you not care about like longevity?
I mean, I just think like diet is such a small percentage, and again, I don't really look into that that much. But
Oh
even for
wow.
me, like just like I know this is like N of one, but like we're talking about guys getting sun rays through like a window. We're in an N of one
Right.
discussion, right? So just for me, like you know, I eat like a terrible diet full of seed oils, all that bullshit, and I never get the cold, I never get injured. I have significantly better collagen than people that are in their
Yeah,
30s.
none of
So
those would be health markers though.
none of those are
Like
health
if I looked at
markers.
no, not at all.
What is a
Not
health
not
marker if not
a good health
resisting
marker would
illness and
be
damage?
oxidized LDL, A1C, fasting insulin. Those would be some good atherosclerotic plaque CT scan. Those would be some good markers. I mean, yeah, we would want to see how much glycation is in your red blood cells in your blood. That would be a good marker. How much plaque you have in your arteries. Those would be health markers we'd want to look at, not if you get sick.
You don't
That
want to
would
look
be,
at barometers for health, like your skin, how often you get sick with common illnesses.
I
You don't think
mean,
that's a
they can
useful
give you a
barometer?
little. Well, when we're looking at the number one cause of death, it's completely useless. No, like we want to look at the coronary artery plaque. That's the number one cause of death right now. Like if we want to look at your health and longevity, those markers would be very minimal. Yeah. I mean, a better predictor would just be, okay, are you going to die to an atherosclerotic lesion, right? That's that's what we'd want to see. Because I know as a fact, if I checked your liver, you'd have more visceral fat than me, and I would know you'd have worse fasting insulin than me, etc. Right? Those would be the markers. And I'm not saying that to one up you, by the way. I'm just, giving an example, like versus the McDonald's diet. Like for longevity, I think you'd understand McDonald's is not is you will die sooner than you would have otherwise.
Uh, I don't know. Like again,
You don't think so?
again, I don't know too much about that. So like, I'm not.
Mm,
Again, I'm just saying this isn't my arena. I'm just saying that for someone that you would admit has like a bad diet, like it doesn't seem like there's much of a a cost to my health, despite
not
the poor
yet.
diet.
Correct. You will face issues. You will as a fact. Just and here's the thing. People think they're exceptions. If you look at what people are dying to, most people are dying to a modern disease. So if we were to go on risk factors, you will most likely die to a heart attack or heart disease. Most likely, that's the most likely way you'll die, and that's completely in your control, essentially. So, I mean, that's up to you, though. I mean, you're 30, right? Of course, you're not going to have, this takes decades to form an atherosclerotic plaque. It's the most common way you'll die, though. I mean, your Randall cycle is chronically upregulated. You have systemic inflammation. You have polyunsaturated fatty acids in the diet. I mean, you will suffer eventually. It may take decades, though. That's up to you, though.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, you might
again,
not
I
reflect in your
think
skin.
we're at a no failure point state again because like, how can I prove that I'm in good health? Like, I have to like show
You
you
could
paperwork.
get a coronary artery CT scan. That would be, and I would do that for yourself, by the way, if you are eating McDonald's. Um,
You know what? I actually might
at
do
30,
this for a video.
a coronary artery CT scan. I mean, imagine they scan. Oh, you got a lot of coronary artery plaque. That wouldn't be too good. You should check your A1C. I mean, you have fats and sugar in the diet, so you have chronic systemic inflammation by default. And we could definitely check and see how glycated. So when you eat any sugar in the diet to any amount, you raise your blood sugar above homeostasis and you cause glycation. So the sugar is binding to these proteins, your red blood cells. It's glycating them, causing these advanced glycation end products. And we can measure how much of those you have over 90 days, which is the A1C, and we'd see how much damage you have. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Those would be some pretty good markers. You could also check your serum nutrients as well.
Hmm.
That's something else we could look at.
Thank you for the donor of the opinionated, Charles. Yeah, I actually think like getting like blood work done, I think would actually be a pretty fucking interesting video. Because like
Mm,
again, like you know, you can only just take my word that I'm in good health. Like, of course, like actual
yeah.
lab studies is really gonna decide it. So again, like let's just leave it at that because you know
Mm,
in my opinion, I don't know if you agree, but I would say that the diet is quite a small percentage to the overall package of your health. I would say that getting good
really?
sleep, mental stress, at a minimum, I would
So you
put more
think
of
you should
a
avoid the sun and that your diet
emphasis.
doesn't matter for good health?
I would say, um, I mean, for me,
Wow.
like I just don't think that is worth considering that much
For
compared to
health.
other factors. Yeah, for health,
What would a factor that's more important than your diet be for health?
sleep, stress.
Sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, so when we look at the variability of people's sleep versus the variability of people's diets, like most people are kind of getting this 6 to 8 hour range of sleep. Right? I could argue, okay, air is most important for health. If you don't have it, you'll die in 5 minutes, right? That's a bit stupid, though, isn't it?
Right,
Right?
right. Well, what I
Because
mean by
like we look at
sleep,
the bell
when I
curve,
say
like most
sleep,
people are
I mean
sleeping.
like I do like not the the 6 hours a day average, like no, like 8 hours plus, right? That's what I mean. Good quality sleep too. Not
So do you
watching
think
rage
what's
bait before
causing
bed.
the chronic disease like these days is from people's sleep or diet?
Uh, I would say mental stress is more toxic to health than
So like when
just
we look
eating
at the main causes
cereals.
of diseases like atherosclerosis, like heart disease, like you think like the mental stress is building the arterial plaque, or do you think that we need a physical mass to build an arterial plaque?
Well, to be honest, I think like if we're talking about body composition, obviously diet is the determining factor, and
Right,
frankly, a lot of people are just overly fat, right? So that's obvious, right? Like you don't need
right.
to argue that BMI being too high is a problem. But I think after you get to like a healthy BMI, I think after that, then you should be in the order of priority. I would say sleep and mental calmness comes after getting a healthy BMI. What do you think?
For health?
Yeah, for health.
Oh, wow, no, man. I mean, firstly, the sun is actually, there's people like Jack Cruz that actually argue your light environment's more important than your diet, which I think that's retarded as well. But I'll tell you, number one, diet. Number two, light environment. Number three, being electrically grounded to the earth. That's
What?
my top three.
Electrically?
And you could put,
What?
yeah, because that's the only way you're going to get proper antioxidants and lower your blood pressure is by being electrically grounded to the earth.
What does that mean?
I've been meaning when you are grounded to the earth, there's a lot of studies on this and good inferences that can be made. A lot of Jack Cruz has done a lot of work on this. The second you are electrically grounded, you're touching the earth with your bare feet, your blood pressure sustainably lowers. You start getting antioxidants from the earth electrically, which these cannot be harnessed in most foods. and we are adapted to be electrically grounded to the earth for most of the time we're alive. It's very new that we're now living up 10 stories above the earth, and it's quite important. Uh, so I have a grounding literal cable that's grounded to my table, connected to the outside to a mat. So I'm electrically connected to the earth. If I were to check your electrical current versus mine, they would be very different right now. That's one thing. That's not the most important thing. I'd give that number like 4. Yeah, number one, diet. We could do diet, sleep,
Wait,
sun, grounding,
what do you
I'd say.
so you're saying like okay, this is just a new concept, so I'm just pretty confused
You
right
never
now.
heard of
So
this?
if you go bare feet on what, soil, then you're going to
Yes,
have
soil.
better blood
Your
pressure.
blood pressure will lower, your nitric oxide will go up, and you'll start receiving antioxidants exogenously. Yes. Those are the three main benefits. Instantly, when you start grounding, your blood pressure will go down a fair bit.
Uh, that sounds kind of
Even
wild. I'm not
I
even
have all the
saying that's wrong.
literature.
I just haven't, I've just
Oh, you
never
you
heard
could
of
never
that.
say it's wrong. It's unassailable. Yeah.
It's unassailable.
Yeah, you could never debunk this. It's every RCT already shows it. Yeah. So that's number 4.
So wait,
Um,
wait. So
yeah.
do you like walk outside and like your grass on the front garden and just like you could just feel yourself
Yeah,
get calm?
it's very important. It also helps you detoxify deuterium through the grounding along with the sun. And we're very full of deuterium, especially in seed oils. They're like 155 parts per million of deuterium versus animal fats 115. So when you oxidize those, the water byproduct is also high in deuterium. That's another issue with them. Same with sugar. And deuterium is a mitochondrial poison. When it's at an improper level, your mitochondria are going to be a lot less efficient. Same with glucose as well. So grounding and getting sun exposure is very important for getting rid of this excess deuterium we all have. Also, I mean, this is also why it's more permissible to eat a fruit outside when you're grounding because you're going to literally detoxify the deuterium you get from the fruit. So, yep.
I mean, again, this is the first time I've heard of anything like this,
You don't know
but
what deuterium is?
no, I do not.
Yeah, deuterium is it's a literal mitochondrial poison when it's not at a proper level, and the only anything with sugar or anything but saturated animal fats essentially has an improper deuterium level. Even raw milk actually, that has like 140 ppm deuterium. That's too high as well actually. When you're on a carnivore diet, you start producing your own metabolic water from the fat oxidation, which is at 120 ppm deuterium, which is perfect. And the only way to do that is by eating only meat. And this is why in studies, ketogenic dieters have 4 times as many mitochondria at 4 times the efficiency. So you almost have 16 times more mitochondrial function. And of course, also on a fat oxidation diet, you put a cancer cell into that metabolic state, it dies, literally. It needs sugar to run. Um, yeah, it's extremely important for longevity. Yeah.
Again, I just don't have any. I can't really retort. I just have never heard anything like this before. So it is what it
I
is.
know. So it would be so like yeah, you have an opinion on something that you're not educated on, and I don't
No,
mean this
I've
to put you
never gave an
down.
opinion on deuterium, or
You said diet wasn't that important, but you don't know anything about it, right?
I would say it's of minor importance compared to some other things.
Why would you think that if you don't understand it though?
Uh, okay. Do I need to understand the biochemistry of diet to just make observations about reality? I don't think I do.
Yes, evidently, especially for health. What observation about reality? That would be if we were to put that on the hierarchy of evidence, that would be at the very bottom. That would be nothing. That would be the same as a homeless guy saying he saw God. It just means nothing to me. We would need that's just not scientific. It's just nothing. Now for aging, it would have maybe something because you can actually see the aging. But for health, we have so much data and understanding of how diet's affecting health. It's just unassailable to say like your sleep or mental stress is more important than preventing disease than diet.
I mean, aging and health are practically interconnected. I mean, what is health but aging slower than most people?
That's a good point. So then again, your metabolic rate, that would really affect your cell division and your telomeres. So then again, you'd also want to not eat sugar, right? So that would then affect your aging.
Hmm.
Same with what I mean, if we're talking about aging, advanced glycation end products, again, that's dietary. Okay, so then you'd also not want to eat sugar, right? So that's all dietary.
I mean, okay. I mean, we don't need to get you know, because this is just obviously something I haven't studied about, so I can't really
Mm,
like say, oh, actually, um, electrical grounding doesn't matter. Like I don't know. So
mm.
like again, like I don't really want
So would
to
you say
be out
people
for
should
the
make
sake of it.
assertions if should people who aren't educated on a topic make assertions about said topic? Would you say?
Yeah, you can use observational reality. That's that. I mean, you don't need to understand, the nuts and bolts of how something works to make an observation about it. You don't know
True,
how
with
to
an
make a computer,
observation.
but you're using a computer. You know it works. You know the
But I'm
basic
not
concept
making
of
an
it.
assertion about what part of a computer would be better if I didn't understand it, though. That's the difference. That's not a good analogy. Like, that's like me saying, like, if I had no understanding on the best way to build a wall, and then I go up to people building walls, I'm like, oh, you're doing that wrong, right? Like, that's not my place. I have no clue. I would never make a claim about something I
No,
have
well,
no idea
that's why I
about.
don't give diet advice. Like I don't, talk about
Right.
diet really in my content. Um,
But it seems you had just made the claim that diet doesn't matter much for health, right? So what in your mind thought you were qualified to say that, right? If you don't understand it. I'm genuinely asking. No offense at all.
because I
I
think
mean complete respect.
once you get to like an adequate BMI, like I think you're Gucci compared to most people. But
Right, so
um,
you have that opinion there, but clearly you don't understand much about health though. So wouldn't it not make sense for you to make an assertion if you clearly like just aren't, and that's fine, you're not a health channel, but do you see what I'm saying? You should probably say, I have no idea what would make someone healthy. I just haven't researched it. Wouldn't that make more sense
uh,
than to make a guess or an assertion?
again, I don't. Again, diet isn't really my thing. It's just something I
Yeah.
just don't really like look into. So that's what it is.
Yeah, so then wouldn't you want to not make a claim then about it if you don't look into it?
How am I making a claim about that? I'm just saying that
You had
just
said that diet wasn't
it
important for
seems
health,
to
which is a
me
claim.
it seems to me like there are things that are, way more quantifiable, way more quantifiably true
Mm.
to improve your health. That is like very easy to
Then
understand than
diet.
diet. Yeah, I think so.
So you just don't think like micronutrients, metabolic state, like this stuff is all just the driver of these diseases, like atherosclerosis, diabetes, like you just really. And this is how most people are dying, by the way. I
You
mean,
think?
I just that's such an interesting take, truly. I could totally see your take with aging, but like to say your diet isn't just the most important, or at least top two for health, bro. Wow. Wow, man. That's really interesting, dude.
Well, it is what it is.
Like
I mean,
right?
I'm not making myself out to be some diet guru, dude. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
but
Like,
like yeah, so why would you have a take then, right?
why would I have a take? Well,
Yeah,
my
why would you have a
original
take
take
if
was
you don't know?
I don't think eating a carnivore diet would make you immune to sun damage. That's what my take
Right,
was.
so you had again a take on diet without even knowing what
Yes, I don't think
like
diet is a panacea to all the problems and hazards of this world. Like it's not.
sure that would be a completely different argument. So you thought diet specifically didn't matter for sun, how you relate and react to the sun, but you don't understand diet. Do you see where that's like a bit callous to then have an opinion on that if you don't even understand it? That would, like, if you were put in front of a judge and a jury, they would say, "What the fuck is this?" And you'd be completely 9-0'd on the jury. It would be the worst evidence of all time. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't have evidence or reasoning. We just have a feeling from someone who doesn't know what they're saying, which that isn't That's actually exactly what you accused the carnivores of doing
No,
in
it's
your
not a
video.
feeling. It's not a feeling. This is like mainstream science that UV
Mm.
rays are something you want to limit. This isn't like just what I like to hear.
So science
It is
would,
what it
what
is.
science, wait, could you please present any science? Because that's a very interesting
Are
word to
are you
use. If
doing
you
the
were to say,
source thing on me? Like, is that what you're
if you were
doing?
to say studies, science would be controlling for all
Do I have
variables.
to Google does UV damage the skin? Like, is that does
Yeah, you could show me the study and I'll show you what's not scientific about it if you'd like. Yeah, sure.
what's not science?
Oh,
What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you not believe
what do
that
I mean by
UV
science?
rays damages the skin? Because I thought we established that it does earlier in this conversation. Like,
It
what are you
totally
disagreeing
can.
with me on here? Like, I don't know
My
what.
what my disagreement would be that it's science. It's like complete nitpick. I think I can make an inference that it does seem that the sun totally can cause damage in excess, especially in our population, right? I would agree with you there. But also, I think the approach of even for anti-aging, even in Western population, completely limiting the sun, getting zero sun, would you not agree that's just too deleterious for your health, right? Like, do you really think
Well, I
like
wouldn't
10 minutes of
say
sun?
never get sun. I think, yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
just don't like never go out during the daytime like that. That's just too
Okay.
much. I just think like if you are gonna spend time outdoors, then wearing an SPF is wise. Like, yeah,
On your whole body?
maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
at least on
So
your
maybe
face.
not.
Like I usually just use SPF on my face. I think that's wise. My face and my
Mm.
neck,
I think if you're
so I don't
eating
get a turkey
McDonald's,
neck like some people that don't wear
yeah,
sunscreen.
I see. Yes, indeed. Um, I would, and some people who don't too, depending on their what how they treat themselves and how much they get. By the way, I'm not advocating like I'm living in the U.S. right as a white guy. The people who naturally live here were Native Americans, and they were a lot darker than me. So if I were to sit outside all day, that would be too much sun for my ethnicity, right? So, I'm not advocating you should be out all day, but I mean, you're going to 100% really fuck yourself over, especially if you wear full body sunscreen and you are limiting your sun exposure from a health perspective. Now, if you don't give a fuck about that, hey, be my guest. You can die. It's your funeral.
What do you
But
think about someone in my chat made a interesting comment about Asian
mm,
longevity. Yeah, like I would say like East Asians are pretty sunphobic as a culture, right?
yeah,
And they don't seem to like they. I mean, as far as I know, they have the. Actually, I may as well just Google it.
you're
Highest,
gonna reference lifespan. I'm assuming
yes, highest lifespan by
they have one of
country.
them.
I
But
just
again, that would be there would be unlimited confounding variables, so that association can establish causation or uh anything important for us. But
Monaco is actually the longest lifespan country. It's like that place
is it
where
not Hong Kong?
let's look.
That was them.
Okay, Hong Kong is actually Hong Kong on this list. So,
Mm.
85.51. Japan 84.71 years old. South Korea
If we were to use a
84.33 years old. These are all
if we were to use
sunphobic cultures.
association,
Like you try and get a Korean girl
and
to go out
that's
in the sun,
association,
they're gonna like fight you tooth and nail. So like
and now what?
okay. I mean, I'm just like making claims
That would be an
that
association,
it
right?
doesn't seem like
So
it's much of a determining factor that getting sunshine is, not getting sunshine is this like death sentence to your health. It doesn't seem like
so
that's
we
true
have
at all.
so that's something there's unlimited confounding variables. As someone just said in my chat, they're also shorter, so they're gonna have a longer life, less cell division. I mean, there's just unlimited confounding variables. They also eat a lot of raw meat in those countries like Hong Kong and Japan. They eat a lot of raw meat, which is definitely helping them out.
Japan, like you mean
Yeah,
like sushi?
yeah, raw meat, yeah.
So you think
They
sushi
mhm.
is the determining factor for Japan being the second
No,
highest
I would
life
never see. I would
expectancy?
never make that assertion because there's unlimited confounding variables, but I would
Hmm.
say that could be part of it, right? Like we would have pretty good biochemical reasoning, but like you'd have to show a mechanism by which less sun would improve longevity, right? So with raw meat, I have unlimited mechanism how it's going to provide you with essential nutrients, less inflammatory oxidation of substrates, all these reasons of why it would help your lifespan. So when we have an association, it can never report on causation. So now we'd have to say, okay, people who get less sun live longer. Is there a mechanism to establish causation to underpin that? So would you have any mechanisms by which less sun would make someone live longer?
I don't know. That's not the claim I'm making. But
Yeah.
what
Oh,
I'm
okay. You don't
saying,
think that?
what
Okay.
I'm saying is that it doesn't seem like sunphobic cultures see much of a determining factor to having a worse health. It doesn't seem evidence just from the life expectancy of these sunphobic cultures being
Yeah.
pretty
You know,
high.
another thing
I don't think
I
it's. I
noted.
don't think
Yeah,
it's
sorry, go on.
causal. I just don't think. I just think
Okay.
what this does prove is that, you know, not getting sunshine, like it's not this. It's not this death sentence to your health. It doesn't seem like that is the case
From based on those cultures,
based
which
on
they don't get
these life
zero.
expectancy. Yeah, it's not zero, but like, come on, like, you know, if you've ever been in East Asia, like some even men, they have umbrellas like parasols outside when it's
Yeah,
sunny
yeah,
and
yeah.
not rainy. So like, it's way more sunphobic than you know what we have in the West in Hong Kong,
Right, but
Japan,
but then
Korea.
here's the thing that they're also they walk way more, they use drugs way less, they eat way more raw meat, they're
And more
shorter, so we have
vegetables.
all these. Perhaps I think it's mostly grains. It's actually grains and meat mostly, just
which
rice and
which
sushi
which
mostly.
you're not a fan of, right?
It's certainly unoptimal for them, yeah, but they still have a fair bit of raw seafood and pork and they certainly have a far better diet than us. So, if anything, that would really show that even despite the sun deficiency, diet is that important for longevity. You know, Hong Kong actually is number one, and they consume the most meat out of any country too. That's an interesting association, wouldn't you
Is
say?
that true? Let me see.
Yes, look that up. They're the meat capital of the world. They're also the longest living in the world. And that means nothing, by the way. It's complete epidemiological nonsense, associative nonsense. But if meat were to reduce your lifespan, for example, which you never made that assertion, you know, we wouldn't expect to see that.
To be fair, Face IQ,
Yes.
AI says Hong Kong number one in most meat consumption.
What's up?
I'm saying to
Am
be
I wrong?
fair, you're right. Like, yeah, I googled
Yeah.
it. Hong Kong number one in
Yeah.
meat consumption. Number two,
Yeah.
USA,
Yeah.
Australia, Argentina.
So you see my point, right? They're the longest living and the number one in meat consumption. I know my facts about this stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
USA doesn't have a particularly high life expectancy, and they're number two, right? So
exactly. So you just saw for yourself how dog shit associations are then. You just proved it to yourself. See?
proved
See
what?
how they're both so associated with completely different outcomes? Same with the sun. There you are. That's a great personal anecdote of how bad epidemiology is and associations are. Perfect.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, okay, so back to the sun thing. I wasn't saying that limiting sun is just going to make you live a long lifespan. I'm saying that limiting sun exposure, like those cultures, wasn't, you know, a determining factor for having a low lifespan. Do you understand?
Yeah, again, it's still a bad argument. How much longer would they live if they did have sun? If every other variable, essentially, we can kind of see they're doing better than us, right? Like, okay, so they have way less seed oils, way more raw meat, way less processed foods, way more walking, lower BMIs, healthier culture. Like, they have all these confounding variables, then less sun than us. And maybe less sun would be positive in these people because we have a ton of linoleic acid in our skin. So perhaps it's actually a benefit that they get less sun because they do still have some seed oils, right? We can never extrapolate anything close to causality and how the sun would affect a healthy individual from this association.
Uh, I don't know. I'm just not seeing much evidence that either way that diet determines much. I think the biggest determining factor is more BMI. Like if you look at like a chart of life expectancy and BMI, it's almost a perfect correlation. So I think the more sensible approach for most people is to get to a healthy BMI rather than stressing about
That's one.
micronutrients.
That's one thing that would definitely be smart to do. So,
Mm.
and then if we were to, what if you were to get to a healthy BMI by being a vegetarian? Do you think that would then help you? Like, it's like,
A fruitarian? A guy that
so
just
then
eats
you would
fruit.
just, so you would die in 5 years. Okay, you'd be a healthy BMI, then die. Would that be good? Right? Like how could you think how you're getting to X, how Y doesn't matter, right? Like I just,
No,
wow, it's
come on.
very
Let's
surprising.
not get lost in the weeds. I'm not advocating a fruitarian diet. I'm just saying
I know,
BMI is generally
but
a pretty good barometer.
okay.
That's it.
So do you like not believe in micronutrients and how they like affect you? Or what's up with that?
I
And like
believe in it.
especially you have a lot of teenagers in development, right? Do you know how important your metabolic state and your nutrients would be for, development?
Um, yeah, I believe in micronutrients, of course. But again,
Okay.
it's not really part of my content. Like this isn't really my
Right.
bag. I can't tell you much about micronutrients.
Right. So again, this takes us back to when you do not know something about something, it's normally best not to make claims
I can
such
make claims
as,
about observational reality. Like I mean, I can make
no,
claims
that's
about
you saying
statistics and what
that's,
I can
but the way
see.
you
Right?
phrase it matters. Then you would say, in my experience, I notice people who get more sun age worse. You wouldn't say, the sun makes you all age. There is no nuance. Diet doesn't matter for health. Like you wouldn't want to make those claims. If you had to underpin them, they would fall apart, and they have in 3 seconds, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we
I
wouldn't
mean,
want to do that.
yeah. I'm just saying that I don't believe eating carnivore diet is this panacea that just solves problems when it comes to UV damage or all
Mm,
these other issues. And I just think there's like I just think you like represent like a a subset of like the Looksmaxxing community that is very focused on naturalism, for lack of a better term. And I just think
right.
like I just think like my leaning is more on the emphasis on things such as pharmaceuticals and cosmetic surgery. That's really like what I'm interested in.
I'm with you with surgery.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
your
with you
content
with
about
surgery.
like face ratings and facial
See,
aesthetics.
if I was an appeal to nature guy, then I would say don't get surgery. That's retarded. I'm not even against all pharmaceuticals. I mean, a lot of them are very toxic, like Accutane or. See, that's the thing. If you tell someone clear your skin with Accutane versus diet, unless we're all suicidal, that really matters how someone does that. Like, okay, they're going to completely destroy their liver with Accutane and their triglycerides, or they could get really healthy and clear their skin naturally, right? Like,
So,
wouldn't
oh
we
come
have
on,
a
man!
preference
Like
there?
I had
What?
acne all the way up into my 30s, and I finally got rid of my facial acne uh, now, and thanks to Accutane,
Yes.
and
And
I will not have a bad word said about Accutane. It is really a miracle. It's really a miracle drug. Like I think it's fantastic, and I wish I would have
yes,
gone on a course of Accutane sooner.
it is a miracle of how many people have permanent joint pain from it. I agree. Also, the hair loss as well, the
Permanent
permanent liver
joint pain.
damage, the incidence of long-term liver disease from those who have taken Accutane. You should look into that. It's a very, very, very high incidence, and you can infer it could be a little bit unwise to do that to your liver. But up to you.
Well,
Also, look at the
do you
risk
like so
profile.
what? So what? You would advise someone with like lifelong acne to like just eat raw meat as opposed to
They should
using
completely
Accutane?
eliminate all plant matter from the diet, as that's the leaky gut issue. Yes, eliminate all plant matter. Only eat meat and water for 30 days. Ease into the diet over for 4 weeks to transition the microbiome. You will see great results within 30 days, and then you will see a complete amelioration typically within like 6 months. Yes. And that's less than a course of Accutane normally.
Dude,
And I
I'm
have
telling you,
hundreds of
there's
case
no
studies of it.
way there's just no way me eating I don't know, some raw liver is going to get, it would have gotten rid of
You don't
my
need to eat that.
face
Yeah.
acne. There's just no way.
It's actually unwise to eat too much liver. But and so how would you underpin that claim? Again, you made another claim about health. So what? How would you underpin it? That there's no way.
Because it's an issue with the amount of oil that your skin makes, your sebaceous glands. It's not an issue of micronutrients. It's
Do you think
genetic.
that's
It's
random
like
as well?
people genetically can have acne, and like I was like one of these people, and for
Genetic
those,
predisposition, yes.
no diet's gonna change that.
Wait, then why would tribes have 0% rates of acne vulgaris then?
What, say
And then
that
they
again?
turn west. Why would certain tribes have zero reported case of acne then, and then they get westernized and then they have acne? Why would that be then?
I don't know if that's the case, but I know that
Oh, I can provide you
acne
the
is
literature on
genetic.
that. Would that if I were to provide the literature that there's tribes with 0% acne rates, would that change your mind?
I'd find it interesting. I don't know if it would change my mind
It wouldn't
about
change your mind.
sebaceous glands and the drying of them and shrinking of them for reducing acne long term, because I think that that's practically what Accutane does. I think Accutane is, and like again, like we're just talking theories here, but like you can even look at my old videos before I used Accutane, and I always had like a little spot on my face. Always had a little spot here or a spot there, and now I don't. So again, like
Right.
just
So no
observational
one disputed it would
reality.
work.
This is what counts.
Also, I have a question. Why, if Accutane is so good, why would most people have a relapse then as well with acne? That doesn't seem quite great.
A relapse.
Most people, I think it's like 55% of people end up having all their acne come back, roughly 6 months to a year after finishing the course. It depends on what age you take it as well. Like I've done Accutane, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh really?
I've done it once. Then I did another half course. I started having severe joint pain. My liver triglycerides were actually into a dangerous level, and so they had to take me off
Uh,
because it's a synthetic chemical. It's isotretinoin. It's a vitamin A derivative in high amounts, so it's all processed by your liver. It's just like fructose or alcohol. It goes straight to the liver to be processed, and it's a fat soluble vitamin, so you cannot excrete excess of it. It's and then it actually starts affecting your immune system from this toxicity.
s-
You have a
s-
lot of people, they have hypervitaminosis from Accutane as well. It's a toxin 100%,
so you saw some,
undeniably.
you saw some gnarly side effects after using Accutane, right?
I personally did, yeah.
Okay. Hmm. I mean, again, this is like a side point, but have you done any hard maxing?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. What do you have in mind, if you don't mind saying?
I want to go to the Rat9 clinic in Thailand and get some fat grafting.
That's where I went.
Then I actually want to go to Aerial Rad, and get a canthoplasty, and I
Hmm.
want to get a zygomatic augmentation. Then I
Interesting.
want a hairline lowering and transplant. Um, mm,
Canvalplasty,
yes.
yeah, I think that again, I can't, I haven't seen a good look at your face, but maybe you do
Mm.
lack fat cells around your eyes, but yeah, I think canvalplasty would actually ascend you.
Yeah, I know for sure, bro. Like, it's really such a phalo. Um, really is. It's really brutal. It's a soft tissue phalo. It's like I wish I just had like a great eye region, then I just need a Trimax. Like that'd be way more preferable. But
Really, you got to be
yeah,
making bank now, so you could afford a Trimax.
I could afford a Trimax. So you know what I'm saying? I wish my flaws were bone rather than soft tissue. Um,
Really, because it isn't soft tissue a lot easier to solve.
I mean the botch rates of like Trimax versus Canto are far and few between. Like if you look, I think it's like 97% of people are satisfied with Bimax, and then it's like 50% are satisfied with Canto, right? So I would way prefer to just have needed Bimax.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, someone in chat. Also, I could probably get a eyebrow transplant.
yeah, that's
Um,
good. I think that's like pretty fucking underrated.
yeah,
It's like
no, that's a really good procedure.
yeah, but the thing is, right? I've seen some people, they get hair follicles from their actual like scalp, and they have to like shave their eyebrows so it doesn't like grow like
Yeah,
thin.
they have to trim them.
Yeah.
I've heard there was a way.
There is do you know
Some
the
other
hair on your
hair.
neck, like the leading up
Ah,
to your scalp? That
yeah.
hair is like pretty similar to your eyebrow hair. So like the 200 IQ move is to use that
Yep.
those follicles.
Yeah, so I mean, I could go to Turkey and like get because my temples are fucked. That's why I also cope with my hairstyle. Um, and I think I could like fix my hairline and get a little bit lower. Like my thirds are a little bit off. My forehead's a bit tall. Um,
Oh, oh
yeah,
man, I understand that. I understand
yeah.
that.
How about you, dude? Are you like,
You
are
know,
you gonna hard max more? Because you did the fat graft, right?
yeah, yeah, I did that, and I also did ptosis corrective surgery. Like, I naturally had
Oh,
like a droopy eyelid, and yeah, I fixed that by raising the levator muscle, like tightening that. And but
mm,
like as for like hard maxing that like I guess have in mind, one thing is correcting my deviated septum. Like my nose is slightly wonky because my septum is deviated, and I could and
mm.
while I'm like under the knife, I could make my nose more pointed, and
Okay.
yeah, combine it with like a rhinoplasty, and I think that would I think that would ascend.
Mm, okay. That's what's up.
It's actually good for you.
Are you
Like,
looking?
you know, if you
Hmm?
solve like your deviated septum, you actually breathe better, especially when sleeping. Like you do less mouth breathing.
Yeah, yeah. Do you use mouth tape? Wait, would you like
No,
die in your sleep if you like taped your mouth? You'd probably wake up, right?
no, I can. I don't have an issue with mouth breathing, but I would have less of a tendency to mouth breathe because my nose can get a bit blocked, and I've heard that's one of the symptoms with deviated septum. Your airways can, you know, they're not as efficient as someone with a perfectly straight septum. So I'm not a mouth breather, but I would have less of an inclination to mouth breathe, if that makes sense
Mm.
after getting surgery.
This dude, the gaslighting in chat, it's a bit feminine being this superficial. You don't need it, bro. Like, dude, oh man.
But that's
What do you think
way the
about
world
that?
is.
You
Again,
know,
like I made a video talking about how people will like gaslight you if you get surgery. Like people have such a emotional negative bias towards cosmetic surgery. It's just like it just
yeah.
clouds everything, right?
I watched it's really interesting. I see also a lot of people talking about like self-love and there's so many fallacies with these normies arguments and their takes like they'll always secretly imply that your worth is based on your face. It's you know what I mean? It's just like it's so interesting. I don't know. I think it's 80% of men, women find 80% of men unattractive and then they
Yeah.
also are like you shouldn't improve it. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, well, there's also
It's
a bit
water,
of
but
intrasexual competition, right? Like, it's very rare that, like, at least on like my reels that went semi-viral about getting surgery,
mm,
um, they actually, the majority of the hate, like 99% of the hate on those replies were other men, not women, right? And I think this
yeah,
is
yeah.
partly intrasexual competition. Like, if someone's going to like extreme lengths, like relative to societal standards to improve their looks, then it kind of forces other people to up their game too, because it's like if you're willing to do that, it kind of raises the bar, right? So I think that's kind of what people are thinking subconsciously.
That's a good point. It's funny. I actually saw a reel on my feed the other day, and it was like these men getting super ascended, and they were like, the caption was like, "We need to stop this," and then all the women in the comments were like, "No, we don't. Where are they at?" Like, it's like, dude, because the thing is, okay, you unnaturally look better. They look at your face, and then they're still attracted at the end of the day, right? So
Yeah.
that's all they care about.
Yeah, and like
It's
think about it
crazy.
from your POV, like if a girl gets like surgery, do you have any less
Hmm.
of a boner? No, you don't. Like
No,
you
I
still
don't.
find her
I
hot.
would. I would consider that for having a kid
Yeah,
though.
yeah. You can intellectualize that. Yeah,
Yeah, you
like of
can
course.
intellectualize that, but if it looks completely natural and better, then yeah, all good. All good in terms of my attraction. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, people, firstly, I think this space is going to majorly increase over the next decade, and I think people
Yeah.
are going to lie about it as well. Anyways, whether that's good or bad.
You mean lie
So,
about getting hard maxing?
yeah, surgery. I mean, yeah, I have friends who just got Bimax and they just gaslit everyone about it. Yeah. Like
I
I know
could.
this guy, he says his friend group is like, "Bro, you look so different, bro. What happened to you?" And he's like, "What? What are you guys talking about?" And yeah. Yeah.
Man,
And he started getting girls, like it changed his life. Because he went from a bottom 5% jaw to a top 5% jaw from his Trimax. So
oh,
it's
that's
like,
fantastic.
yeah, no, people in real life, even his mom said he was more handsome. Brutal.
Well, mom knows, man. Like, mom knows. There's, yeah, the thing with like jaw is like if you have like a good jaw and good alignments with your bites, it is actually good for your health. Like that's the weird thing with like hard maxing and looks maxing is that a lot of the time it kind of there's like the Venn diagram is practically overlapping. Like, if you have like a good jaw, like a good bite, that is better for your health. That's better for your breathing. It's not just that you look like a Chad. It's like you look like a Chad and you're healthier, right? So it's good. Yeah,
Right.
good for him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let
I
me
wouldn't
think.
gaslight people though. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, I don't know if women would really be feeling it if if they knew you had surgery, you know? Like,
I've told
I don't
girls,
know.
and I haven't had anyone say explicitly, "No, I don't like you because you've done surgery." I've never had that, but maybe some would
Well, we
have
got to
thought
look at how
that.
they behave, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How do they behave when they know?
Uh, it doesn't. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag if they know my channel specifically. Some are like, "Oh, this is actually kind of cool. You're famous, blah blah blah," like that kind of
Right.
cringe shit, right? But
Right.
some like more like westernized girls are kind of like, "Ugh, this feels a bit incel-y." Ugh. They don't like it, right?
Mm.
But I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
mixed bag.
Yeah, no, that's how I was at a party last night and I showed people my channel and they were like they thought it was cool, really. Like people just see the big number and they think it's cool.
Yeah.
Even though the content is like probably the worst hobby for a woman to find attractive. I assume, right? Like I don't know.
Well,
I
you'd
think the
think women would
manosphere.
empathize with us a bit more. Like, they do way more looks maxing per capita than the average man. So,
That's true. That's definitely true. I think, it's interesting. Some which I hate is when like a girl will see my TikTok, then she'll be like, "Give me a rating, give me like, no, bro, I don't want to do that."
no, never do
You
that.
know?
Never ever
Yeah.
do. Never ever. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. It's just too. It's too
Wait.
emotionally
Okay.
charged.
Yeah. Wait. Is my mic good? Is my mic like okay?
Yeah,
Should
it's
be
fine.
fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. No. I've told like I showed one girl and like she literally ghosted me after it. Um.
Dude, that happened
Yeah.
to Wheat Waffles. He got he said he had like problems with his channel and girls finding it.
Yeah, yeah. One time Meat Waffles bought a rating for me, and he bought a rating for his girl. I'm not gonna like obviously show it, but
Really?
his girl was like a 6, honestly. Yeah, yeah. His girl mogged him. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, Wheat Waffles. You're gonna probably see this. Sorry, bro. But I mean, I told him that. Yeah,
I think Wheat Waffles looks kind of good now. Like I know he hides his face, but
I haven't seen his. I haven't seen his transformation. I know he like dyed his hair black, right?
yes, I gave him some advice to tint his eyebrows. He did it. He liked it.
Mm.
And then he went full board and dyed his hair brown. And he does
Oh,
look better.
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. His harmony was always okay. He also was like honestly like me right now he had like chubby cheeks for his body fat um but yeah, no, I think like and he's like what 5'11".
Hmm. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, did you watch the the stream between YBC too cold and wheat waffles.
Yeah, I did that while playing World of Warcraft.
Mm. Um, I think like wheat waffles really opened my mind to like geo maxing importance, you know?
Bro, you
Like,
would slay in Thailand. The height
yeah,
here
but
would be
there's not
so
a single
crazy.
thing I want in Thailand.
Huh?
There's not anything I want in Thailand though.
Are you not into
I want to,
Southeast Asian chicks?
no, not at all. I only like white girls and I only like tall white girls. And I'd rather be alone than not have one.
I'm
Yeah.
anticipating
And
chat saying based.
I put my location on Tinder into like Poland and Sweden, and I was actually matching with some of these girls. They look way better, dude, than
Oh yeah.
here, obviously. And they were tall, and I was actually matching with them, and I'm like, and they were talking about my height, so I'm like, damn, maybe 6'5.5" is still a halo, but I've heard those countries are super tall, so I don't know,
Poland.
no clue.
I think Poland is, I know like Norway, that's like the biggest height mogger country on the planet, but Poland, yeah, I would like agree. Like I would say the big three when it comes to geomaxing is Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe. Those are, and depending on what kind of girl you like, you kind of gravitate to one of those three. And for you, it's obviously like Poland, Ukraine, or maybe
Mm,
not Ukraine now, but uh, East Europe, yeah.
yeah. No, I said it to Ukraine, and it was like no one came up, and I'm like, "Oh, shit,
Oh
yeah.
god,
Uh,
they all left.
yeah.
All the women
No,
left.
no, no. It was like
They're all
all
in
like
London.
foreigners. Um, I
Really?
heard apparently the UK, also the UK. See again, it's always cloudy there, so that would be, I guess, good for you in your mind. But I hate it. I think it's very depressing, like very cloudy and rainy. Um, and Wewaffle says the competition in the UK is like nightmare difficulty. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I
in
don't think I'd want
London,
to go there.
like if I'm like comparing like Tinder stats from like London to Bangkok, holy shit, it's like a 10x increase in matches. It's just so much harder
Mm.
in London.
But like, what girl do you want though? Like, would you settle for an MTV or something?
An MTB. I hope to attain like Chad Light in my lifetime and get a goal around that looks level. I would say.
An MTB?
Mi-
Or what level? Or your
Stacy
look
Light.
smash
Like
S?
I'd
Oh,
like to
okay,
get to
okay.
Chad Light in my lifetime
I
and
was
get
like, what is
Stacy Light.
hypergamy if you're trying to get to Chad Light to get an MTB? I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, good. Good,
Uh,
good, good. Okay, and do you have a racial preference?
I like Asian chicks, and I think
Mm,
half Asian, half white. Like at least like from my observation, um, the women are insanely like good looking. Like mixed, like like Asians, right? Like Asian chicks look really good, and also the guys. Like anytime I see like a half European, half Thai guy here, he's like this tall mogger with abs and like good jaw structure and like speaks 10 languages, and it's just like, oh man,
mm.
you're sweeping up here. So like I think like I know like there's like this this weird like idea about like I can't even say his name. The guy ER, like you'll produce
Yeah.
sons like ER. Like that's not what I've observed from being in Asia. The half
Yeah,
Asian, half white guys kind of.
that guy's mix was like very odd. That's not the typical. I think like the studies show Asians are actually pretty preferred. Like they're, yeah.
Yeah, they
Um,
do. They do. It's like do you think like mixed race have better faces on average?
I think it wouldn't even be up to me. I think there were studies that show like people thought so, right? I don't know if I agree, but
I'm
it
not sure
seems
either, but
it seems sometimes I'll like put it very vaguely. It seems sometimes with mixed people, and this is not of any specific race, there will be certain quote unquote good features taken from each race, and then the bads are left out. You know what I mean? Like it seems like there's a bigger pool of selection for traits, so you could have more of the good from each. Does that make sense? Like I
yeah,
think that could be a possibility. Yeah.
yes, like the kind of like extreme features kind of even out and like
It's sort of
yeah,
like, let's say one
Okay, let's
parent.
tread lightly here because we're on YouTube.
I'm not a guy. This is not to do with race, by the way. This is like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
literally just giving an example. Like you'll see this, which is parents. One parent has like a huge nose, and then one parent has
Mm.
a lot of upper eyelid exposure. The kid may often get a small nose and then hooded eyes, as long as those traits were available, right? So that's all. That's all I'm saying in general about parents,
Yeah.
not about anything else.
About parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parents having a kid. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
I think
Then there's me, and both my parents have hooded eyes, and I have upper eyelid exposure. It makes no sense. Whatever.
oh, that's brutal, but it's a solvable
Yeah,
problem. Like I had
yeah,
tremendous upper eyelid exposure before fat grafting.
mm, yeah.
It's a solvable issue.
Um, it is. It is. That's a blessing. It's probably the best like procedure on the market. I feel like for ROI, like $1,000 to just fix your UE.
Oh yeah,
What
it's
do you
great.
think?
I think like if we're gonna like rate cosmetic surgeries and like a tier list, I think we gotta take into account literal cost because like you know
Yeah,
the bang for you buck the bang for buck that you can get with some surgeries is insane. Like, if you fix your upper eyelid exposure, that means that's worth its weight in gold, but it's only like a few K. Whereas like something
yeah,
like limb
yeah,
lengthening, it's like aside from all the complications and bullshit, it's like 100K. Jesus Christ, you could do so much better with
You know,
100K
there's
in my
people getting
opinion.
it for 20K now, to be honest. But like,
Oh
I
wow.
totally agree with your point. I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
I also think genioplasty kind of molds for the cost.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I think I put that in like A or S on my tier list for ROI. Like I think, and then even though Bimax is expensive, I still its ROI is still so good because it's still the best surgery I think of all time.
You think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean Bimax is so powerful. People just aren't utilizing it well. Like in most of the results you see, the surgery plan wasn't optimal, but the amount of power Bimax has is like insane, dude.
Yeah, I
It's
think
insane.
I've used this example. I don't know if it like, it's kind of like this Hispanic guy that had like this short face, and he got Bimax, and it just look he just became like Chad Light from Sub Five. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so, perhaps, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, Bimax is like it's just let me think of another one like that. I would give I mean, even like a really high ROI is like lip fat grafting.
oh yeah,
It's obviously context dependent, but you know, even buccal fat removal, like some of these are like
I actually
very
I actually react. I actually did some face rating, like I recorded some video, and all the redditors,
yeah,
they all had like thin upper lips, and it's just like, yeah, you could fat graft to the upper lip, and it would like ascend you guys. But if you dare to
yeah,
write that on Reddit, you just get downvoted to oblivion, even though it's like the most
yeah,
useful information they'd ever hear in their life.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if you
Common.
can see my stream, but
I'll
this
check it
dude,
out.
yeah, I'll just have it open. Like that is like a legit sub five to Chad Light
Oh yeah, that one
SMG.
classic, classic,
Classic, yeah.
classic, classic.
One of the
And I
better
think that was with
examples.
who? Well, I forget what surgeon was that. Raffiani or was that
Hmm.
like Ramiri? I forget.
Yeah, like Bimax can totally like if you got short face syndrome, holy shit.
FaceIQ used to claim 6'4". I don't think I ever did. I mean, honestly, once I make my first IRL video, be put to bed. But people actually think I'm lying. But what do you call it? Rhinoplasty's best ROI. Someone said that in your chat. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's obviously context dependent,
yeah.
but for men, I don't think it is based on how much it's botched. I feel. Um,
It can get botched if someone just goes too far with thinning the nose and because like it is obvious when you see like some Asian guy and he's got like a tiny little bean of a nose. It's like okay, that's uncanny. But yeah, if you're smart, it
yeah,
can be great.
yeah. No, I agree. Like, I think. So you would disagree. I actually think that. Like, let me list off my high ROI. I would put. Okay, I would put diet number one because I think you could eat very well for like under $15, $10 a day. Then I'd put like eyebrow lash and dye tint and like minoxidil topical. Then I'd put like haircut, and then body fat, that's through diet. And then I'd put like fat grafting all over the face, low key, like to facial folds, to lips. Like I think fat grafting is so huge. What do you think?
Yeah,
What would be your
it's
like
very
highest ROIs?
yeah. I'd put fat grafting and S tier or whatever because it's so versatile.
Yeah.
It's like you can like upper lip, under eyes, supraorbital region. Like there's so much you can do with it. Um,
And it's literally the biggest youth indicator of all time,
yeah.
really. And it's interesting. I have a good example. I'm trying to promote it. It's just in my community. It's like a high set brow versus a high set brow, but just the true difference between the exposure of the eyelid, like how much more attractive it's making it. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Um, Let me actually show this example I have real quick.
well, let me open up your stream.
Yeah,
You're live,
I
right?
can send it in Cord. Yeah, I'm live. I can just send it in the Discord. Um, One moment. Okay, yeah, here. I just put it in your in the general chat,
Uh,
and I'll show my stream too.
wow.
Um,
Is
you know
this
what
the
I
same
mean?
guy?
Like, no, that's Jared Leto versus Chico. It's just like a good example of how those eyebrows are relatively the same setedness.
Hmm.
It's just the fat is what's making the difference,
The
right?
supraorbital fat, yes.
Yeah, and infra's
I
too
made a
there.
video about how, you know, like guys that get like below 10% body fat, single digit, they tend to get this kind of bulging eye look, and they look sickly, and it's all due to the fat cells reducing so much that everyone gets like this Steve Buscemi eye area if they get to like 5% body fat.
Mm, yeah, I think the studies show I think women prefer at 13% is the most attractive body fat. So I kind
Oh,
of feel like that's
women
a
rating
nice
men.
place to be. Yeah, for body and face, it seems 13% is the best. So like I think that 12 to 14 range, like as long as you don't have water retention, like you'll have pretty good. What's your body fat, would you say?
Like north of 20%. I'm chubby right now.
Mm. Yeah,
But
that's corpulent in our terms. Yeah.
corpulent. You know, I would say like uh I would say I have pretty good zygos and mandible width, and I think that's
Mm.
why my face looks leaner than it should, right? I think
Mm.
like when I get back down to like 15% or so, I think you know I'll improve my look quite a bit because last time I was actually lean, I you know this is before I did surgery to my eye area, so I'm kind of interested to see what it's like with the full package and my dental palette being wider from Invisalign. I think I'm just looking forward to the future.
Mm. Yeah. Um, I had something on my mind.
You had
I was gonna
something on your
say.
mind?
Oh yeah, I was my face is like the worst combination to have an angular face. My zygos are really shit and my jaw is too wide. I just have no concavity of my face. So even when I'm at like a lower body fat, it's just not that angular, unfortunately. Which is why I want zygo augmentation and then like perhaps some buccal fat.
Man,
It's brutal.
so what do you think about implants for your zygos? What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah,
I want to
because
go to this guy named Augusto Perry. He's really good at it.
not giant
Or
implants.
Ariel Rad. Giant implants, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. Like I think he's good if you need an OBO. Then one moment. One moment.
I don't mind them. We chat on IG, but yeah, I haven't looked at a lot of his patients, but the patients I've seen some good results. While he's gone, I'm gonna go take a piss. Hey. I'm back. He's gone? Oh, shit. Alright. Well, that was a fun stream. That was a fun stream. That was interesting. It was an interesting little convo. What did he say? He said he had to... Oh, okay. Alright. That was fun. I am going to take a rest now and